Your Sastastic Life with hosts Trisha Rivas and Wendi Fredregill.
Jazz hands. Hello, everyone.
This is going to be a hysterical episode.
Yes, it is. We're going to just manifest that right now.
Uh-huh.
As our guest today, we have the amazing Savannah Fredregill.
Hey.
Oh, that name sounds familiar.
How is that spelled?
Savanna.
Kidding. She's sassy with an H. This is our lovely Mr. Producer and I's lovely middle daughter, one of our three. And so she's home after her first year away at college.
Yes.
No.
Well,
my second year.
Your second year, but away, like out of state away.
Yeah.
So we thought we'd throw you in the hot seat.
Mm-hmm.
So let's
Good
do it.
topics.
Yeah.
Good topics.
Good topics.
So you are the perfect, lovely young woman to talk about this and female friendships.
Yeah. Unfortunately, but I guess, yeah. I've definitely had a new light shed on those moving away. The people I'm friends with now are probably like the best friends I've ever had. And I've only known them for like 7 months. It's just a lot different going somewhere where nobody knows you because they base their opinion on you based off of like what they know about you so far, not what you've done. And I feel like people back here, back home, like in high school and last year, everything they based their decisions on was things that had happened in the past rather than just who I am as a person and who they are as a person. So,
but don't you think that happens in high school though? Like you have so much history.
Yeah.
Where a lot of times things are based on, well, your family friends, or you were all in choir, or you were all in this.
Yeah.
I know that's what I liked about college is when you went there, you got to be just you.
Yeah.
But going to school in West Des Moines and then going to University of Iowa is jokingly like Valley East.
2.0.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Valley, because, you know, there were so many people there that you knew. So it was kind of hard for you to have a day there where you didn't see someone you knew.
Yeah. And in high school, a lot of people forgive things and stay friends because of how everyone's in close quarters.
Sure.
And you kind of have to get along.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things that if they had happened to me now, they would never be acceptable. And I probably wouldn't see those people again. But just because you're in high school, it's a lot harder. You have to forgive a lot more than you'd like. And you have to forget a lot more than you'd like. But it's very nice to, you know, I've had a lot of people come and go since I've been in Charleston. You know, they've done one thing and I've been like, you know what? Nah, I think we're good, you know. And it doesn't have to be a big blowout like it did in high school. There doesn't have to be this huge thing that happens that, you know, Dramageddon and the whole friend group, you know. It's just I'm just not going to reach out to you anymore. We can just slowly fade off.
Yeah.
And I feel like I got a second chance at this school because I was, you know, told all these stories from my parents. You know, it's going to be the people that want to be your friend that are your friend. But being somewhere where everyone already knows each other is not really a fresh start at all.
Yeah.
And even people that I didn't know personally knew people I knew. And there was just too many connections. And at my new school, there wasn't even one person from the same state as me. So it's very nice to just meet new people every day that don't have this bias about you because of something someone else said. So.
Talking about that, Savannah, with the Dramageddon, you know, I remember, goodness, do I remember stories? And it would be, well, I am not liking her because you shouldn't like her, or, you know, you shouldn't like her because I don't like her, or this type of thing. But, you know, I have to say, though, you've always been very mature for your age.
Thank you.
So I think also for women that are mature at a younger age, they realize they're just not going to put up with certain shit.
Yep.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but that is Savannah. I mean, you know what I mean? I mean, I definitely think that you're more like, this is who I am. I feel comfortable in that. And if you don't like me, so be it.
Yeah.
So be it.
I think you've grown into that, but I think, like you mentioned, though, when you were here, you had to forgive because you so I know that you've improved on this, but I think you've probably over forgiven.
Yep, probably.
Too.
Well, my biggest problem was kind of along the lines of what you just said. It's I'd have close friends, and then someone would do something terrible to me, and they'd pull the, but they haven't done anything to me. They haven't done anything to hurt me, so it's fine. Like, there was no loyalty with my friends in high school, and I get it. We all have to be around each other, but there's certain things that if you don't visually show that you're upset with someone, like if someone did something wrong to my friend, if I went and hugged them the next time I saw them, or I continued to follow them on social media, in their mind, what they did is okay. Well, her friends are, talking to me, hanging out with me, going to my parties, then I guess what I did wasn't so bad. And it kind of like makes them think that they're fine and they got off the hook with something they did.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
here, I mean, not here. In Charleston, I'll have friends and someone will do something wrong to me and they're like, okay, nope, I'm not dealing with that. Like, they stand by me just because I am their friend. They know me better than these other people in these situations. I've done it too. One of my roommates had a huge blowout with a girl that I'd started getting to know. And I was like, no way. I'm closer to my roommate. I know who she is on the inside, regardless of who said what. I'm not going to continue to be around this girl, especially when she's my roommate. There's just a level of respect that I feel like I have now that I didn't have before.
It's kind of like that saying, nobody else can talk bad about my sibling except me.
Yes.
Nobody can talk shit about Trisha except me.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, I'll be in fights with people that I'm friends with, and someone else will do something. I'm like, nope. Like, I get it. We're not in the best place, but I'm not going to let you treat someone like that, Like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
And I have always not been afraid of confrontation. I've always not had an issue with sitting down and figuring out what's going on with someone, but I've struggled a lot getting other people to kind of have that confrontation with me. I've had friendships almost 10 years and we have a fight and I try and talk about it and they never spoke to me again. Like, people would rather avoid you than accept what they've done and apologize. And I feel like that's not the case anymore. It's, I even my roommates, I can sit them down and we can talk about something and we can all admit when we're wrong. And it's really hard to get through a problem when only one person wants to fix it.
Sure.
So, yeah.
That makes sense. And for someone too that in society's eyes has it all, okay? You're talented, you're beautiful, you have the I mean, honestly, you know what I mean? And that brings challenges itself because women can be very catty.
Yes.
With that, even at your mom and I's age. You know what I mean? I know how your mom feels about me. She's very jealous.
I'm very jealous.
Oh, trust me, I know. She talks about you all the time.
Her beauty just pisses me off.
But I mean, honestly though, I have young gals that'll come into the salon and they don't want to go back to school because they feel bullied.
Yep.
Because how they look or because they are talented or they get good grades or whatnot. And thank goodness we didn't have social media.
Shit.
Wendi. I mean, could you imagine?
Well, I think it sucks because you get bullied if you're not pretty. You get bullied if you're pretty. You get bullied if you're fat. You get bullied if you're skinny.
Yeah.
Like, but I know for you, a lot of people look at you and assume a lot of things.
Yes.
I don't think I've had a single friend that once they got to know me, they didn't make a comment along the lines of, before I got to know you, I thought you were a bitch. I thought you were a terrible person. I thought you were so judgmental and mean and all these things. And now actually knowing you, I completely disagree.
Yeah.
And so many people, I think it's all just rooted in insecurity. So many people see things they want for themselves and others, and they try and deflect it and find some reason to hate them. And it sucks. It does suck. I felt like, I said this to you a lot in high school, like an achievement for me or something positive for me always seemed to be like a negative for the people around me. Like, every success I had was a loss for them for some reason, because they weren't having it as well. They can never just be happy for me. It always had to come with some, it was all rooted in jealousy, and nothing ever felt genuine. I never felt like a lot of my friends actually were happy for me and proud of me, like, especially with guys. Like, there's so much jealousy and not fun.
Like with the dating scene or okay.
Yeah. I noticed a lot in high school, like when I get a boyfriend, all of a sudden, or if I was talking to a guy, all of a sudden I had a friend that was like, oh, I've been texting him for months. Oh, him and I are best friends. Oh, he's obsessed with me. He's in love with me. And I'm like, okay, show me the receipts and then we'll figure it out. But most of the time they did not have any. Like, it just sucks that there are people that can't see other, their friends succeeding and be happy for them. It's always like what do I have to do one up her, to one up her? Oh, she just bought a brand new dress that looks great on her. Well, I'm going to go get 5 of them.
Yeah.
Like, there should be no competition within friends and friendships. There really shouldn't.
Yeah,
You feel like,
I agree with that.
We were just saying that we didn't have social media, obviously, because we're old. Well, at least I am. Do you feel, because I think it's always been a female thing.
Oh gosh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, very much
It always
so.
has been.
Yeah.
However,
Very much
do
so.
you feel like that social media has made it worse? Do you
Yes.
feel like even the shows where they're catty with each other, do you think young girls see that and think that that's normal behavior, that that's how women treat each other?
Social media is definitely the root of many problems with female friendships. Like, everyone feels pressured to post and have this image of their life and, make everything look great and, only tag certain people because you don't want people to know you're hanging out with someone and just stupid stuff like that. And I feel like having literally to sum up your entire life on one page and to, girls my age are always looking at their feed just to see what they look like to other people and through other people's eyes. Like, it's ridiculous because who cares?
Yeah.
Like, if you're gonna judge me off of a picture and you don't even know you don't know how many siblings I have, you don't know where I'm from, I really don't care. It really doesn't bother me at all. But a lot of it is rooted in that because things can be misconstrued, especially with like sorority stuff, like fights between sororities. Like, screenshots will be sent, and you never know if it was actually the person that with the original post or someone else added text on top of it. Like, there's so many ways that things can just get messed up and piled on, and social media is the worst thing.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
I heard an interesting thing the other day. Somebody asked a bunch of people under 20, like, would you care if it was gone?
Yeah.
And almost all of them said, I wouldn't care. Like, as long as I knew that no one else had it and I wouldn't be missing out,
Yes.
that they would be okay with it.
It's our biggest form of communication with each other.
Oh yeah.
Like, even like guys that come up to me at bars and stuff. What's your Snapchat? What's your Snapchat? Like, no one asks for your phone number anymore.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that has to do with people wanting to see your appearance and all of that, but that's a whole different like rabbit hole that you can go down. I don't think a lot of people enjoy social media. I think it's a really stressful thing for a lot of people my age. But if I don't have this, everyone else has it. What am I going to do? Like, I'm trying to compare it to something like that you would relate to more. But it's just dumb that half of us don't even want it and half of us don't want to waste our time.
I could compare that to the teen line.
So back in the day when we had landlines, your parents had the landline, but some people got to have a teen line.
Okay.
I never got one.
Did you have one?
I didn't get a teen line.
I
never did.
Nope.
So that, yes, the teen line. I love that.
You felt like left out. Like,
yes, you did.
There's this huge thing with my generation too. Like, so much materialistic stuff. It's ridiculous. Like, in Charleston, obviously the average amount of money that someone's family has and the wealth is a lot higher than at my old school.
Yeah.
And, there's this tote bag that everyone wears and everyone has to have it. Like, no one carries backpacks around anymore, which I will carry around a backpack until I graduate.
Yeah.
Why would you want all of the weight on one shoulder just to show people that you have money? Like, it's stupid. There's also, this is a really good example. There's this jewelry brand that's based in Charleston. It's called Heart.
Yes.
And it's a charm necklace brand. So you buy all these charms, you can customize it, whatever. Yeah. And even the chain is like $300, $500, you know. Each charm is maybe an extra $200, $300. And it's literally like these girls at my school, like the hierarchy, where you are on the pyramid is based off how many charms are on your necklace.
Oh, geez,
Like, it's the dumbest thing ever. Like, it's so dumb. And I got this cute little necklace from this small business and I loved it. I wear it all the time. And I have so many people come up to me, is that from Heart? Wait, is that from Heart? Did you get that from
You're
Heart?
like, no, it was $10.
And I said, no, but can't you see that you can't tell where it's from?
Yes.
It doesn't matter where it's from, you know?
Mhm.
And it's the perfect example because it's literally like a symbol of how cool you are and how wealthy you are. And it's the dumbest thing ever. Like,
I think what's sad is like these 10-year-old girls and 12-year-old girls that are like getting these expensive makeup brands or these expensive, I mean, what? When you're 8 or 10?
Well, and I think what's sad too is that, you know, back in our day, if we didn't get invited to something, we didn't know about it until
Monday.
You know, these young girls, you know, like Marley's age and whatnot, it's in their face all the time.
Yep.
You know, because they'll have their location on with Snapchat. And I'm like, okay, first of all, do we know how that is so unsafe?
Yeah.
But it's just,
I remember because that was kind of a newer thing when you and Marina were having slumber parties, and I would sit the girls down. And I'd be like, "Please, can we just not post about this in Snapchat? Because that's going to hurt people's feelings that aren't here." Now, did it happen? I'm not sure, but that was still a little bit newer. But you have to just see the whole night play out that you weren't invited, and I still get that as a grown ass woman. I'll see something on social media like, well, look, I just saw those people were together and they didn't call me.
Yeah.
On the other side of that, obviously, you want to be able to have freedom to take pictures with your friends.
Yes.
But I feel like it needs to be something that you want for you, not to show off to other people. Look at all my new friends. Look at where I'm at, you know. And I've only honestly posted since going to Charleston a few times. I haven't really posted that much because I don't care what people in my past, you know, experiences think. I really don't. But what I have noticed is, you know, even based off the few things I have posted, back when I was here for Thanksgiving, I had people that haven't spoken to me since middle school coming up to me. Oh my gosh, Savannah, Charleston, like it looks so fun. And some of them don't even follow me. How are you doing? It's a little weird. Like, oh my gosh, you know, I want to come visit. Like, I'll text you when I come visit, you know, all these things. And even friends that I used to be close to and I'm not anymore, you know, texting me, can I come visit? Can we come visit? And it's like, if you don't keep up with me and at least try and spend quality time with me while I am here, you're not, that's just not an option for you, you know? And I do feel a little guilty because I know there's some people that see my Instagram and get jealous. I do feel guilty, but I'm also not going to apologize for, you know, being myself and posting what I want to post on there. And with all the technology, there's things these days where you can see who's viewing your page. You can see who's looking at your account, even when they don't follow you. And I know who's out there still looking at my account, and I don't care, you know? There's something in you that you're trying to fill since we were friends. You clearly have guilt and regret for that. And I don't know if looking at me makes you feel better or worse, but if you want to keep doing that, that's fine. That's just not something I'm interested in.
That's not your problem.
No.
Yeah. And every time I do come back here, I'm reminded why I left, you know. I've never once had a single like doubt about what I've done and moving past all of that. Like it's probably the best thing I've ever done for myself.
It's a big leap.
Well,
halfway
yes,
across the country.
exactly.
Yep.
You know, and again, I know that you have time, but do you think you'll move back to Des Moines when you're done with school?
No.
Yeah.
I have no hate for Des Moines. I have no hate for Iowa.
Yeah.
You know, it was a great place to grow up. It's just I've moved past the people here. I've moved past all of that, and you know, I have these new hobbies that I can't do here. I have these new interests, and even when I first came to Charleston and I was by myself, I didn't really have that, you know, a friend group yet. I still liked the person I was by myself when I was, you know, doing things on my own. I enjoyed, you know, the things I did by myself, the places I went, and I enjoyed how I felt about it, you know. And I feel like I honestly can't look back at last year in college and think of a single time I went out and had fun. And I thought that was because I didn't like going out, but I have fun every time I go out in Charleston. You know, it's the people you surround yourself around that make up how you feel about yourself and the way you think about yourself. And I just have a lot more confident friends, and it shows because I did have a lot of insecure friends back home, and it's really hard to be friends with someone that's super insecure. You know, you always have to kind of like dim your light a little bit and make them feel better. You know, there's things you don't want to share with them that you're excited about because you don't want to show off, you know. And in Charleston, every single thing I do is celebrated. Every accomplishment is celebrated by people, you know. And even girls I don't know in Charleston, you know, come up to me and you're so cool. Like I was out surfing and some girl with her boyfriend came up to me. She's like, I love your surfboard because my surfboard's pink.
Yes, it's
She's
so
like,
cute.
my boyfriend's been trying to teach me. But if that same instance was in Iowa, the girl would probably be thinking I was trying to show off for her boyfriend and all these things. Like the change in mindset is very, very obvious. It is.
Yeah. Well, and do you think that's too because they're more mature there?
I think so. I think not that this is a small town, but I just think there's a lot of things that people aren't exposed to here. A lot of different mindsets, a lot of different ideas that you just aren't exposed to here. And there, I just think everyone's more okay with people being different than them. You know, it's okay that everyone doesn't dress the same and look the same, you know, and I'm not going to judge people who, you know, are different than me. And more often than not, the fights I've been in with girls in Charleston have not been about that type of thing. You know, it's about things that one of us actually knew the other person did. It wasn't stupid drama that, you know, but
Yeah.
Oh, the joys of being a female. This is one thing, though, that I will tell you is that you reach a certain age and you feel comfortable in yourself.
Yes.
You have your boundaries. You find your tribe. You know, you find your people. And that feels really good. It really does.
I remember because I would tell because there was just a lot of struggles in high school for Savannah and some scary kind of struggles. And I remember saying to her, you are going to find your people in college.
Yes.
That's where I found my people. And so her freshman year was not good.
Yeah.
I had to do a late night, like
I remember.
speed over to Iowa City to get you out of a bad situation with roommates.
Yep.
And you were like, you told me that I was going to find my people.
Yep.
I have not found my people, Mom. And it just like wasn't happening and wasn't happening. And I think even right away, like first semester in Charleston, you were still kind of like, I thought you said I was going to find my people.
Yeah.
But I don't think you find your people until you really find yourself and really love who you are. Then you vibrate in that way and you find those people. So I think that's what changed. I don't think that you didn't find your people. I think that your thoughts about who you were and how you felt about yourself changed.
I think especially in the past few months, my mindset has changed a lot. Like I think back on even the way I thought about certain things in December, and I'm just kind of like, who cares? Why did that bother me so much? You know, if it had no right to. And I feel like those people were obviously, regardless, not good friends to me, and it wasn't a good situation for me to be in. But it does matter, you know, what your mindset is, because I make this joke with my roommates all the time, how who says you can't run away from your problems? Because I did, and it worked. I did, and it worked. So
to Charleston.
But it wasn't problems within me. It was problems outside of me that I couldn't control. It was people that I'd outgrew, you know? And I feel like I was missing out on all of this, you know, classic college experience and all of these things. And I moved to a place that's not an average college town. It's not stereotypical college life. And I feel it's so much more there than I did at my old school. Like, once again, it's really the people you're around that matter the most. And it's, you know, the mindset you're in too, because obviously I was around things that had happened in high school and people that had happened in high school. It's like I couldn't escape it.
Des Moines is small.
Yeah.
I mean, it is. You know, your mom and I know that firsthand. It is small, and usually see the same people, and you talk to the same people, and so yeah, I can definitely understand that for sure. Um, your mom knows this, though. I've had the same group of friends since I was in 6th grade. You know, I don't ever take that advantage of that, of how special that is.
It's
and,
rare.
And how lucky I am, and how like your mom said, how rare that is.
Yeah.
I will say this too, though, that I have gotten to a certain age where I don't need more friends unless it is something that is truly intentional.
Yep.
Like they bring me joy, I bring them joy. You know, I could call them at 2:00 in the morning because I was sad or I needed to talk, and that can be very rare also. Don't you think?
Yeah. I think when you're younger, it's about you think it's about quantity, that you're supposed to have this many friends. And
Exactly,
now
Wendi.
it's all about the quality.
Mhm,
But what's so fun is I got to give a shout out to my friend Jill Anderson. And it's ironic that she popped in my mind to tell this story because Jill ran into Savannah at the Charlotte airport. That was so crazy. I'm on my walk and I'd been thinking about Jill and I was going to text her, and then I get a Snapchat from her and a picture with Savannah.
I know.
Like,
I loved
look who I
that.
ran into at the airport. But anyway, when I met her on a Zoom call. It was like a chamber event, and I could just tell that she was someone I could be friends with. And so I reached out to her after, because she was also a coach. Like, let's meet for lunch. So we meet for lunch, and I just remember seeing her, like, she just was dressed so cool. And we sat and talked for 3 hours.
I love that.
And when we were walking away to our cars, like I had that like elated feeling of like, I have a new friend. And I remember I was sitting in my car, and it's kind of like, I wonder if she liked me. I really liked her. I really want to be her friend. Like, should I text her or should I wait? Like, I didn't want to seem too excited. And finally, I'm like, screw it. So I literally text her. I'm like, will you be my friend? Like, I really had fun. And she's like, I've been sitting in my car. Why did I text you?
That's exactly what's happened to me.
Oh,
Several
gosh.
people in Charleston.
I love that.
It's just like that. We joke, we call it the friend spark.
Yes, it
Like,
is.
Even me and one of my roommates the other day, we made a joke because we've been spending a lot more time together. She was like, did we just like rediscover each other? Like, what's going on?
Did we just become friends?
Like, we just realized we had a more like deep relationship now, and we relate so much more to each other than we thought we did. It's not so surface level.
Yeah.
And like, I do agree that once you find a good group of people, you know, you can always make new friends, but you feel good about, you know, where you are.
Yeah.
And I feel really great about where I am on a lot of levels. Like, I've told one of my roommates several times, I don't remember a time last year where I was happy for 2 consecutive days in a row.
Yeah.
And now that I'm in Charleston, and I like every once in a while I'll sit back and, you know, ponder, and I'm like, I don't remember the last time I was upset. You know, I don't remember the last time I had a bad day. You know, it's like everything that used to bother me so much doesn't seem that like that big of a deal now. I have like a new perspective, obviously with the friend group I have, but also a new perspective realizing that the world is not, you know, the state of Iowa. The world is not one place and one group of people. There's so much more out there. And if you don't like where you are or who you're with, just leave. Just leave.
Yeah.
I do love that, though.
Yeah.
I do.
And you did get to have the fun experience of watching the Iowa Hawkeyes play at a bar in Charleston, and a bunch of people had on
Yes.
Hawkeye gear.
And you know what? I like that day really put some more stuff in perspective to me. I was like, I could finally admit that there were things that were good about last year, and there were times I had fun. You know, there were things about that school that I did like. It just wasn't the place for me at the time, you know, and it's still not. But like, I've never before been able to look back on things and see the positive until now. Like all my past friendships, I still had all these grudges, and now I just don't hold them anymore. You know, everything served its purpose, and I am where I am for a reason.
Mic drop.
Boom.
Boom.
You'd get pretty mad if we mic dropped.
Yeah, we
Yes,
don't mic
we
these.
wouldn't.
We don't mic these
No,
expensive
no,
drops.
we
That's
don't.
what I
No,
literally
no.
almost said. So Savannah, all of the middle-aged ladies that listen to our podcast want to know, what's it like dating when you're 20 in the world these days?
Yes.
Give us the tea.
You know, I'm pretty much the last person that will make a ton of assumptions about, you know, men I give everyone their fair shot, but oh boy, men in college in my generation are just not the most enjoyable thing. I think now they have so much more access to things than they did before that they don't see the need for a meaningful long-term relationship because when you're a guy in college, all the things you think you want in your brain, you have easy access to, without having to work for it anymore, without, but I'm sure there are good guys out there. I'm waiting patiently. For me, I'm not really a date around type of person.
Yeah.
I don't like telling 5 different guys in a month the same story about my life and the whole spiel about my family, how I transferred, all these things. Like, not that I don't like making new friends, but when it comes to relationships like that, I just don't want to keep doing it over and over again. So I'm just waiting patiently. I'm sure my dad's happy to hear that. But
Looking at Jason out of the corner of my eye.
it's the same thing with friends. I'm going to wait for someone that respects me and is worthy of my time and, is more mature because it is hard to find. I feel like sometimes when guys go to college, they kind of mature backwards a little bit before they can get forward because, they don't have the repercussions of their mom and their dad or their parents and stuff. They kind of have free reign to do whatever they want. And I know like fraternities don't help either. They kind of all morph into the same guy. And I have met a few really great guys that aren't like that, but they have girlfriends and the girlfriend doesn't want me around them. And I can't really have guy friends right now. I have a few, but it is hard to have guy friends for my generation because everyone always has issues and girls are very territorial of guys as well. So
yes,
I that's always been a thing.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
I was the kind of girl that had a lot of guy friends.
Me too.
I really did. And boy, girlfriends did not like that. They did it. They couldn't believe or understand that we were truly just friends.
Yeah.
I also feel like I'm still a little bit hurt because I did have a guy friend group and what I thought they saw me as is not what they saw me as. So still recovering from that, And there's nothing wrong with having girlfriends either, Maybe my guy group of friends is out there waiting for me. But
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
I mean, let's just call this out. Like, it's really interesting to think about. When you think of when we were in high school, the access that guys had to porn were cheesy VCR tapes and magazines.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now if they can literally look at, see, and this goes both ways.
Oh gosh, yeah. Oh
okay?
yeah.
Same thing for girls.
Yeah.
Because I think more girls are watching porn than ever. I don't think that there were women in huge droves buying magazines. As far as I know. But anyway, I'm sure Mr. Producer knows the statistics on this. But it is kind of sad to think about that porn, like, it's kind of taken away that need for someone to just try to even have a relationship.
Yeah.
Well, and then you have the dating sites.
Those are the problem
Yeah.
at my school.
Yeah.
So many of my friends have Tinder and, I downloaded it for 2 days when we were all on vacation together because everyone was like, just do it. Just do it. We can meet people and go out with them, And every single message was something inappropriate.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's just.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't want to date a guy that's on websites like that and on dating apps like that because a lot of the times people download them for one reason.
Yes.
They don't want to have meaningful relationships with people. And I get it. Not every girlfriend or boyfriend you have is going to last forever.
Yeah.
But like most of the time you want to get something out of that. Be like, I'm glad we were together. They helped me through this or we, shared this great bond. And a lot of people my age, guys and girls, just don't really care that much about that anymore. And I think the biggest problem is the pace people take things, everyone goes 0 to 100 really fast. And I feel like once you've, hooked up with someone, there's, obviously this isn't always the case, but there's not much more to do. You're like, okay, and if you slowly get to know someone and like form of emotional relationship with them first, you don't do something like that with them and then all of a sudden be like, because you know more about them. I feel like the problem is like, especially a lot of guys my age, that's the thing they want to do right away.
Yeah.
And then they don't know anything about you. They don't have this emotional connection or bond with you. So they don't see you as anything more than what you guys did, you know?
Yeah.
And I did try in November to have a guy. He was fine for a little bit, but then I realized that, you know, the guys my age want their cake and they want to eat it too. Like they want to have girls that will do everything for them. They want girls they can hook up with, but they also, you know, when other girls want to come along, they want to hide them and pretend it's not happening. You know,
Mm.
they feel like, well, we're young and we want to have all these
Yeah.
different experiences and all these things. So a lot of times they don't see what's right in front of them, you know?
Yeah.
And I think the base, you know, level problem is respect both ways. You know, we don't really, I mean, I don't want to say we because I'm not involved in this, but like, I feel like guys and girls in college don't have respect for each other as much as they should, you know? And I'm also just not a fan of the hookup culture at all. It's just not something I can do.
Yeah.
I can't do something that intense with someone without even feeling comfortable with them, without knowing anything about them.
Yeah.
And I think it's only going to get worse, to be honest, because, you know, I think people are slowly more and more realizing that, oh, well, I don't have to be in a relationship to do this and to get
Yeah.
all these things. And it does suck. And there are people out there that disagree, and I'll find them, you know, but it's not fun. It's not a fun
Yeah.
atmosphere.
Yeah. Mm. Well, and not even just for, you know, men and women your age too, like women that are our age that are single and are on the dating sites. I mean, some of the pictures that they will get sent to them, I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is so disrespectful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've heard some horror
I,
stories
I mean, I
of people
just,
that are like divorced or have lost their husband, and a friend talks them into going on the dating sites, and the stories I've heard.
I know.
So, unfortunately, I don't think it's just people. I think it's just humans in general.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, when I started to set up my account, I just had no idea what I was doing.
Mhm.
So I had my friends help, and a few of them have been on dating sites for a while, and they were picking out pictures they wanted me to post, and almost every picture I was in a swimsuit. Almost every picture, you know, my hair was down,
Mm.
my hair was longer, you know, I had makeup on, and I wasn't doing anything that I like in these pictures. Like
Yeah.
you couldn't say a single thing about me in any of those photos other than she's blonde and she has big boobs,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And I've realized that like that's what these guys are perceiving too. Like they're seeing just that.
Mhm.
No one, you know, rarely ever writes a little bio about themselves anymore either.
Yes. So visual.
Because
Yes,
they
it's
don't
all
care. They don't
visual.
want to know, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And
It's very visual.
and what does suck is when things are so on paper like that, no one actually knows who you are as a person.
Yeah.
You know, it's either I'm looking at a photo of a guy, oh well, he's not that cute. Bye. Like you
Mhm.
don't know anything about them, and we've said this a lot before. A big attraction that I have for men is their personality and the way they treat you.
Yeah.
You know, it's not always about their perfect physical appearance.
Mhm.
And I feel like it's getting worse and worse, and
Yeah.
that's all people see now. And a lot of my friends, they say they only have it as like a fidget, like they call it a fidget, just a thing for them to do while they're bored. And I'm like,
Oh.
don't lie. Don't lie.
But I mean, how sad is that? That
Don't lie, you know? And I also, I don't know, I'm just not the type of person to spend all this time texting people I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I've had a few guys ask for my number at the bar and then they text me later that night and I'm like, eh. Like,
Yeah.
I just, what's the point if
Yeah.
it's only going in one direction, you know?
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
I deleted the dating app. I'm done with that. It's just not my
Yeah.
jam.
Good.
yeah.
Jason's over there like.
I also want to Mr. Producer's ears.
Exactly.
Also, that there's nothing wrong with people that have met off dating apps, but
No,
I don't really want to tell my kids I met their dad on Tinder. You know, how'd you guys meet? Oh, he saw a picture of my boobs
And he swiped right.
Yep. He liked that I was a blonde wearing a swimsuit, so he swiped right, and that's how we.
Meet your mother.
Like that's just not what I visualize my future being.
Yes, exactly.
No.
Exactly. Well, I have to ask you this because we ask all of our guests this. What would you tell your 18-year-old?
We
2
could say
years ago.
16. What would you? Well,
What
let's.
would you tell your
Yeah.
16-year-old
What would you tell your
self?
16-year-old self?
Or 12?
12? My 12-year-old self she did not need any help. She was very full of herself. I thought I was so cool.
Yeah. Well, we all did at that age.
I think the most important thing I'd say is cherish your time with people. Even people, friends that won't be in your life forever. Just appreciate how life works.
Yeah.
How, every stage of life, you're supposed to go through it. When I was younger, I was ready to move on and be an adult so quickly. Even when I was 16 and my sister was going to college, I was like, I can't wait till I have my own space, till I'm by myself, but then I look back and I enjoy that I had every step of the way.
Yeah.
And I, enjoy that I had that time with those people, regardless of what happened in the end and how everything ended.
Yeah.
Like, I'm happy that I had this time in my life where I just worried about myself and my friends and having fun. Now I have all these other stressful things I have to worry about.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty relaxed, probably more than I should be. But, I would just say cherish your time with people and especially my parents. Like,
Yeah.
every time I go home, they look a little different.
Yeah. 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 It's true. They do.
And my dog,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
he can't even run for more than 10 seconds now. And I'm like, what happened to you? Seriously? What happened to you? It's been 4 months.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. No, it's true, honey. To definitely cherish.
Are you
cherish
asking
that
about
time.
my thinning hair? Is that what you mean?
No.
I'm getting a pretty bad bald spot over here.
It's
Thanks
not
for
about the
noticing.
aging. It's just
I'm
about
kidding.
you don't look like the way you looked when I last saw you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And my sister, when I first come into the house the other day when I get home, there's an 18 birthday balloon in the air. I'm like, who's this for?
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah.
That's impossible.
Yeah.
That's actually impossible.
Yeah.
I thought Zoe was still 6.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True, though. Yeah. And I love that you realize that at your age. Sincerely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because time goes by so quickly, honey.
Oh,
It really does. It goes by so quickly.
so fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about 18-year-old Savannah?
18-year-old Savannah.
That would have been your freshman year,
Mm-hmm.
college.
Just go straight to Charleston.
Yeah. I think I was there for a reason. I think I needed to be so uncomfortable where I was to really have the confidence to move on. Because originally I was supposed to go, out of state to Clemson.
Yeah.
And I had like a quarter life crisis realizing I was going to leave my parents and,
Yeah.
Leave my sisters and not get to watch my younger sister's senior year. And I decided to just stay. But, clearly it wasn't the right decision. And I would have told myself that you are where you're supposed to be, but you also have so much ahead of you.
Yeah.
Like there's so much more you can be, and don't waste your time trying to please people that don't care about you.
Girl, I just learned that last year.
Yeah. I learned that once or twice a year, and I remember it again the next year. And
Oh, I know.
yeah, I think it's an ongoing problem.
It is.
I'll always need to tell myself that.
Yes.
But it was the same thing with girls that I talked about with guys. Like I'd tell them all these things about me. I'd get to know them. And then one thing would happen and, they would rather just not speak to me again than talk to me about it,
Yeah.
And it did suck. But I feel like all those things are what pushed me and gave me the strength to move on.
Yeah.
I feel like if I did at least partially enjoy the people around me, I wouldn't have been where am now.
Yeah.
I would have settled. And I've always wanted to, move out of Iowa and, live by a beach and do other things. But I feel like if things were going better, I would have just settled and been like, whatever, it's fine, So
Yeah.
And things do happen for a reason. I know that sounds very cliche,
They
but
do.
they do.
Yep.
They really do.
Well, looking back at the past year and the timeline of everything, I do really see, wow, all of that happened right when it did because it was supposed to.
Yeah.
I feel like I have one more question.
Okay.
What advice would you give like high school girls right now?
I feel like it's the advice I tell my sister a lot is how you're feeling right now is not always going to be that way, every little thing seems like the end of the world.
Oh, yeah.
Every little thing. I can't go on. I can't do this,
Yep.
all of these things, but even a week later, it gets better, There are things that were so traumatic in the moment for me that don't even feel like a memory of mine anymore.
Yeah.
Like, time really does heal things,
Mhm.
and I, especially for Zoe, enjoy being in high school and having these things and realizing you're gonna grow up and that's okay, but also don't let everything get to you
Yeah.
because it's just not worth it,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. And especially boys.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I remember my boyfriends. I was going to marry them.
Mm-hmm.
They were the
Oh,
love
trust
of my
me,
life.
I know.
We're doing our little coochie catcher. Oh, we're going to live in a mansion.
Cootie catcher?
We call it coochie catcher.
Okay, listeners, she was referring to cootie catcher.
Cootie catchers.
She
But
calls it
Trisha
cootie
used them as her coochie catchers.
My little coochie catcher.
The guys we're coming after her with a coochie catcher. That's how they got you. So we didn't have Tinder back then. We had coochie catchers. Trying to catch the coochie.
He next. Oh, your favorite color is green? Next.
Exactly.
Number from 1 to 10 is 7. Bad choice.
Yeah, my favorite number is
Oh, wow.
Oh my gosh. That's funny.
Gosh, that was funny.
Yes. Wow. Thank you for joining us, Savannah.
Yes.
We are
Yeah.
very proud of you. You've grown a lot this year.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You've learned some hard things, but
yeah,
as we had in our conversation with Beth about the subconscious and how if you focus on all the bad things, that's what you get. You've made that switch and you've learned how to focus on the good things. And being by an ocean sure helps.
Oh my gosh, yes.
The ocean makes all things better.
Doesn't it?
I don't want to sound dumb, but I think surfing, how you see surfers and they're like, ooh, they don't care about anything. Now I understand.
You're like, bruh,
now I
catch
understand.
a wave.
Yeah.
Right?
It's an unexplainable feeling.
They're relaxed.
It's very relaxing. And, every time I'm out there, I just look at where I am. I look around and how did I get here? What am I doing here? Things that I worry about just don't matter as much, Everything will get figured out.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Love
it. Some days, bro, there's big waves. Some days there's no waves. Man. You just ride it. You just ride it, man.
Yeah, man. Exactly.
Sometimes you catch the coochie.
Sometimes that coochie catcher works. Sometimes it doesn't.
Sometimes you could catch something from the coochie. Be careful, ladies. Or be careful, fellas. You can catch something from the coochie.
Okay, and cut.
And we're done. We need to have an ad inserted right now for condoms. Trojan
coochie catchers.
Trojan, if you pay us, we will do a commercial. Did you get a cootie catcher?
Have you checked your coochie catcher lately?
Have you? Yes.
Ask your doctor about coochie catcher.
Have you checked your coochie catcher? Is your coochie catcher hot?
Itchy and swollen.
Yes.
You might need
Vagisil. Oh gosh.
Oh boy.
This is what your dad gets to put up with. He loves it.
Awesome.
I think it's good for him.
It is.
Yeah. That was a great episode, honey. Great
Thank
episode. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Your Sastastic Life is produced by Apex Creative. Go to apexcreative.vip. That's APEXX creative.vip.